What if I told you the financial system is standing on the edge of the biggest shift in modern history? Most people have absolutely no idea it's coming. We're talking about $7 trillion. That's not a typo. $7 trillion. Every single Bitcoin holder needs to understand what this number means before it's too late. If you've ever held Bitcoin, bought Bitcoin, or even thought about buying it, the next 17 minutes could change everything. Don't click away. This is the video you didn't know you needed. Welcome back to Money Finance Insights. I'm your host, Ethan Cole, and today we're diving into something that's been quietly building behind the scenes of the global economy. Something so massive and so far-reaching that even the world's smartest financial minds are starting to pay attention. Before we go any further, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button right now. We drop content like this every day, and you do not want to miss what's coming next on this channel. Now let's get into it. Let's talk about the number that's shaking Wall Street, central banks, and crypto markets all at the same time. $7 trillion. To understand why this number matters so much, we need to go back in time. Not too far, just a few years. In 2020, the world stopped. A global pandemic shut down economies overnight. Governments panicked. Central banks around the world opened the floodgates and started printing money at a rate never seen before in human history. The United States Federal Reserve alone injected trillions of dollars into the economy. Other central banks followed suit. Interest rates were slashed to near zero. Money became almost free to borrow. And for a brief moment, it felt like the world had avoided a financial catastrophe. But here's what they didn't tell you on the evening news. All of that money printing didn't disappear. It went somewhere. It flooded into stocks, real estate, bonds, and yes, into crypto. Bitcoin surged from around $9,000 in early 2020 to nearly $69,000 by November 2021. People who had bought Bitcoin suddenly felt like geniuses. And the institutions, the big banks, the hedge funds, the family offices, they started paying very close attention. But then something shifted. Inflation started climbing. By 2022, prices were rising faster than they had in 40 years. The Federal Reserve, which had promised to keep rates low, suddenly reversed course. They started hiking interest rates aggressively. It was the fastest rate hike cycle in modern history, and markets everywhere took a serious hit. Bitcoin crashed, stocks crashed, bonds crashed. It was a brutal year for almost every single asset class on the planet. Fast forward to today. The world is in a completely different financial situation than it was just 3 years ago. And here is where the $7 trillion warning comes in. Right now, sitting in money market funds, short-term treasuries, and cash equivalent accounts across America, there is approximately $7 trillion in liquid assets. $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines, waiting. And the question everyone in finance is asking right now is this: where is all that money going to go next? Think about that for a second. $7 trillion is more than the entire GDP of every country in the world except the United States and China. It's more than 3 times the current total market cap of Bitcoin. It is an absolutely staggering amount of money, and it is parked in low-yield savings instruments, waiting for the right moment to move. Now here's where the story gets really interesting, and I need you to stay with me here because this is where it connects directly to your Bitcoin holdings. The Federal Reserve has signaled that interest rate cuts are coming. When that happens, money market funds and short-term treasuries suddenly become a lot less attractive. The yield drops, and investors start looking for better returns elsewhere. Historically, when the Fed cuts rates, money flows into risk assets. Stocks go up. Real estate heats up again. And if the pattern from the last rate cut cycle holds, crypto, and specifically Bitcoin, could see inflows that dwarf anything we've ever witnessed. Some analysts are calling it the Great Rotation, a massive wave of capital moving out of cash and into higher yield assets. But here's the catch. And this is what most YouTube videos won't tell you. The $7 trillion rotation isn't just about Bitcoin going up in price. It's about something far bigger happening underneath the surface. It's about a fundamental shift in how the world views money, value, and financial sovereignty. And if you understand that shift, you'll understand exactly why Bitcoin isn't just a speculative bet anymore. It's becoming a strategic reserve asset for nations, corporations, and now possibly for ordinary, everyday investors like you. Let me tell you a story. It starts with a guy named Michael Saylor. Most of you have heard of him. He runs a company called MicroStrategy, now rebranded as Strategy. Back in 2020, Saylor made a decision that people thought was absolutely insane. He started converting his company's cash reserves into Bitcoin. Not a little bit, all of it. Then he borrowed money to buy more. When Bitcoin crashed, people said he was finished, ruined, done. But Saylor didn't sell a single coin. He bought more on the dips. And today, MicroStrategy holds over 200,000 Bitcoin on its balance sheet. That makes it the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin in the entire world. Why does this matter? Because Saylor wasn't alone for long. Once he proved it was possible, other companies followed. And then something even bigger happened. Governments started paying attention. In January of 2024, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission approved the first spot Bitcoin ETFs. This was a watershed moment. For the first time ever, regular Americans could buy Bitcoin exposure directly through their stock brokerage accounts. No crypto wallet required, no complicated seed phrases, no technical knowledge needed. BlackRock, Fidelity, and Invesco, all the major financial giants, launched their own Bitcoin ETFs, and the inflows were historic. In the first few months after approval, Bitcoin ETFs in the United States took in more money than any ETF launch in history. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF became one of the fastest growing ETFs ever created. Billions of dollars poured in from pension funds, wealth managers, and retail investors. These were people who had been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a regulated entry point. And this is just the beginning. Now here is the part of the story that should make every Bitcoin holder's heart rate go up just a little. The sovereign wealth fund conversation has started. Countries with enormous pools of oil money, pension reserves, and national savings are quietly asking their financial advisors one question. Should we add Bitcoin to our national reserve portfolio? And in at least one very high-profile case, the answer was yes. El Salvador made history by becoming the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Norway's massive sovereign wealth fund, one of the largest in the world, has indirect Bitcoin exposure through its holdings in companies like MicroStrategy. And now, whispers from within several Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds suggest that Bitcoin allocation discussions are happening at the highest levels. But let me be clear here. This isn't just a bull case story. There are serious risks that every Bitcoin holder needs to understand. And if you're watching this, thinking it's just another hype video, it's not. I'm Ethan Cole, and here at Money Finance Insights, we believe in giving you the full picture. So let's talk about what could go wrong. The first risk is regulation. Governments around the world are still wrestling with how to handle Bitcoin. Some countries have banned it outright. China, once the world's largest Bitcoin mining hub, cracked down hard in 2021. The United States has passed more legislation around crypto, but the regulatory landscape is still evolving. New rules around taxation, reporting, and custody could significantly impact how and where Bitcoin can be used. The second risk is competition. Bitcoin was the first major cryptocurrency, but it's not the only one. Ethereum, Solana, and dozens of other blockchain networks are competing for adoption and investment. Some of these networks offer faster transaction speeds, lower fees, and more programmability than Bitcoin. While Bitcoin has brand recognition and first-mover advantage, competition in the crypto space is fierce. The third risk is the macro environment. If inflation stays high, the Fed keeps rates elevated, and a recession hits hard, even Bitcoin might not be immune. In risk-off environments, investors sometimes sell everything, including Bitcoin, to raise cash. We saw this happen in 2022 when Bitcoin dropped more than 70% from its all-time high. But here's what makes Bitcoin different from almost every other risk asset in the world. And this is the part that most people completely miss when they talk about Bitcoin. It has a hard supply cap. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence, ever. That's written into the code. It cannot be changed. No government, no central bank, and no corporation can create more Bitcoin. In a world where trillions of dollars are being printed at will, that scarcity is extraordinarily powerful. Think about gold. Gold has been a store of value for thousands of years. One of the primary reasons is scarcity. There's only so much gold in the ground. But Bitcoin takes this concept and makes it mathematically perfect. While miners can always dig up more gold if the price is high enough, no one can ever mine more than 21 million Bitcoin. The supply is fixed, and approximately 94% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist has already been mined. Now add something called the halving to this equation. Roughly every 4 years, the reward that Bitcoin miners receive for validating transactions is cut in half. This means the rate at which new Bitcoin enters circulation gets slower and slower over time. The most recent Bitcoin halving happened in April 2024. History shows that the 12 to 18 months following a halving event have historically been some of the best periods for Bitcoin price performance. And we are right in the middle of that window right now. Let me give you some numbers to put this in perspective. After the first halving in 2012, Bitcoin went up over 8,000% in the following year. After the second halving in 2016, Bitcoin went up over 2,000% before the next major peak. After the third halving in 2020, Bitcoin went from under $10,000 to nearly $69,000. Now, I'm not promising those returns will repeat. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. But the pattern is real, it's documented, and it's driven by basic supply and demand economics. So now we come back to the $7 trillion warning. Imagine what happens when even a fraction of that $7 trillion starts rotating into Bitcoin. Even if just 1% of that money flows into Bitcoin, that's $70 billion of fresh capital entering the market. For context, the entire Bitcoin market cap has historically responded dramatically to far smaller inflows than that. The math is both exciting and slightly terrifying, depending on which side of the trade you're on. And this is why some of the world's most respected macro investors are ringing alarm bells. Not alarm bells in a doom and gloom sense, but alarm bells that say, pay attention right now because something big is happening. Ray Dalio, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, has talked about Bitcoin as a potential alternative to gold. He's acknowledged its role as a digital store of value in the modern era. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the most successful macro traders in history, has publicly stated that he owns Bitcoin as part of his portfolio. He calls it a hedge against inflation. Stanley Druckenmiller, another legendary macro investor, has held Bitcoin and spoken openly about its long-term potential. These are not crypto enthusiasts. These are hard-nosed, data-driven investors who have made billions of dollars by understanding macro trends before they happen. And they're watching that $7 trillion pile of cash very, very carefully. Now let's bring this closer to home. What does this mean for you? Whether you own one Bitcoin, a fraction of Bitcoin, or you're just thinking about buying your first piece, the decisions you make in the next 12 to 24 months could be significant. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying it because the data points to a convergence of forces that rarely align this perfectly. You have the halving cycle working in Bitcoin's favor. You have institutional adoption accelerating. You have sovereign wealth funds beginning to explore allocation. You have $7 trillion of sidelined capital looking for better yield. And you have a macroeconomic environment where central banks are beginning to ease monetary policy again. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here's what you should actually do with this information. First, understand what you own. If you own Bitcoin, understand why you own it. Know your thesis. Is it a store of value? A hedge against inflation? A speculative bet on adoption? Your investment strategy should always match your reasoning. Second, know your risk tolerance. Bitcoin is still a volatile asset. It can drop 50% or more in a bear market. Only invest what you can genuinely afford to hold through a crash without panic selling. The biggest mistake most retail investors make is buying during euphoria and selling during fear. Third, consider self-custody. If you own a meaningful amount of Bitcoin, consider taking it off exchanges and into a hardware wallet that you control. Not your keys, not your coins. Exchange collapses like FTX showed the world in 2022 how dangerous it can be to leave your crypto on a centralized platform. Fourth, think long-term. Bitcoin's strongest hands are those who have held through multiple market cycles. The data overwhelmingly shows that investors who bought Bitcoin at any point more than 4 years ago are currently sitting in profit, regardless of when exactly they bought in that window. And fifth, stay informed. The landscape is changing fast. New regulations, new technology, new institutional players entering the market every single month. The investors who stay educated are the ones who position themselves correctly ahead of the major moves. Now I want to zoom out one more time and talk about the bigger picture. Because this video isn't just about Bitcoin's price going up or down. It's about understanding a fundamental shift in the global financial order. The dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 70 years. It's backed not by gold, but by trust in the United States government and its economic might. But trust in governments and central banks has been eroding. Trillions of dollars printed. National debts spiraling out of control. Inflation eating away at the purchasing power of ordinary people. For the first time in modern history, there is a credible alternative monetary system that is completely decentralized, completely transparent, and mathematically predictable. And it's called Bitcoin. Whether you love it or hate it, the world's smartest money is taking it seriously. And the $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines may soon do the same. This is the warning. Not that Bitcoin is going to crash, not that you should panic, but that a window of opportunity may be opening right now that, looking back 5 or 10 years from now, people will wish they had paid attention to. Just like people who ignored the internet in 1995, just like people who didn't buy real estate before 2012. There will be a moment where people look back at 2024 and 2025 and say, that was the window. That was the moment everything started to change. Will every Bitcoin holder come out ahead? No. Markets don't work that way. Risk is real. Volatility is real. Regulation is real. But for those who do their research, understand what they're buying, and have the patience to hold through the noise, the potential reward is unlike almost any other asset available to ordinary people today. I started this video by asking you what you'd do if you knew the biggest financial shift in modern history was coming. Now you have more of the picture. Not all of it, because nobody has all of it, but more than you did 17 minutes ago. And that knowledge, that extra layer of understanding, is genuinely worth something. Before I wrap up, I want to hear from you right now. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin for the next 12 months? Do you think the $7 trillion rotation is real? Is this the cycle where institutional money finally pushes Bitcoin into mainstream financial portfolios? Or are we in for another brutal bear market first? Your opinion matters, and this community is one of the best places on the internet to have real conversations about what's happening in finance and crypto. If this video gave you a new perspective or taught you something valuable today, please share it with someone who holds Bitcoin or who's been curious about getting started. This is exactly the kind of content that could genuinely help someone make a better financial decision. Sharing it takes 2 seconds, and it means the world to this channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Money Finance Insights right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. I'm Ethan Cole, and we are building one of the most informed and engaged financial communities on all of YouTube. Every single day, we break down complex financial topics into stories that actually make sense. And we are just getting started. Here's what I'll leave you with. In 1999, a relatively unknown investor bought shares of a small online bookstore that most people thought was a joke. That bookstore was Amazon. In 2010, most people thought the idea of carrying the full internet in your pocket was a passing fad. Today, smartphones are completely indispensable. In 2025, many people still think Bitcoin is just digital gambling. But the $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines tells a very different story. The sovereign wealth funds doing their due diligence tell a very different story. The BlackRocks of the world building the infrastructure for mass adoption tell a very different story. The question isn't whether Bitcoin will matter in the global financial system. The question is whether you'll have positioned yourself before it becomes obvious to everyone. Because by the time something becomes obvious to everyone, the opportunity is usually already gone. The greatest investments in history were all made when most people thought it was a crazy idea. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ahead. I'm Ethan Cole. Thank you for watching Money Finance Insights. I'll see you in the next one.